Yeah, I don't know, man. You ever just feel like life is just catapulting towards some greater purpose?
Average fat cats with bloated ego. We are the only DJ crazy enough to tattoo Jackie Brown on his ass.
This is Michael Mann, and I ride with
Extended Clip.
Can you believe these guys have notes?
We got a bunch of Poindexters.
Oh my god, it's the LSATs over here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you sat and you took an L. with your
That's
bitch
what's
ass.
up. Hey, come
with
on
your
now.
bitch ass.
Dude, there's so much gold in these fucking nuts. You guys don't even fucking know.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Welcome to Extended Clip. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie Averill.
I'm Malcolm Baum.
I'm JT White.
And joining us on the couch, two bad boys from the other side of town, from the wrong side of the tracks.
They're giving us hell earlier, man. They were
Yeah, dude. We were lighting your asses up.
We had the gauntlet.
Yeah, dude.
A podcasting duo, a couple of stand-up comedians also. But we're here to talk to them as podcasters. Podcasters
first,
Podcast,
you know.
two podcasts.
Yeah. One is a returning champion, and the other is making his presence known for the first time on this podcast. It's Nate Fisher and Will Sennett.
Ooh, hello,
Good
everybody.
evening, everybody.
They're known as the two guys that everyone likes to laugh at. That's a good tagline for you guys.
Yeah, we're the
right?
guys that people like but don't love.
Yeah,
you know?
to laugh at.
We're the guys who are around.
The guys that get snickered at in some way or another.
The guys who you were like, oh, we should have invited them.
Yeah.
You know, that's
The guys who are like, I haven't heard from them in a few months. Are they doing anything?
they're doing good,
When,
yeah.
when did they leave their house last?
One of them said they had something in the works that sounded cool, but I don't remember
I
what it
can't
is now.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they leave? Did they move?
Well, they're here on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's how you know. That's how you know you're doing well. You know?
Yeah, you know you're doing well when you come all the way out to Highland Park to be on Extended Clip in person.
Doing the rounds.
While
Yeah.
the NBA playoffs are on television.
Yeah.
The duo of A Closer Look, the probably best podcast of all time, is here for a duo of films joining us on the Extended Clip reunion tour. We got Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter by Frank Tashlin from 1957 and All the Marbles, the 1981 film by Robert Aldrich. Why these two films? Why did you guys want to bring... I couldn't see why a couple of guys like you would want to bring, you know...
Nate told me that you assigned us these two films.
Excuse me.
Nate told me, he said, I don't know why they picked these two films, but these are the two films we're watching. Are you
That is not
kidding
true.
me?
That is not true.
Nate, are you
That is
kidding
not,
me, dude?
That is not true.
What the
That is
hell?
absolutely not true.
kind of figured
That
Will
is
did-
exactly what's true. I asked you, I said, why'd
no,
they
no.
pick these two?
We-
And you said, I don't know.
No. We had a conversation where we were discussing.
Absolutely, we
What?
did
No.
not.
They discussed. Eddie came to me and
Oh
was like,
my
"Here's this thing
God,
we're
dude.
doing. We picked two movies from these random 2 years." And I was like, "Okay,
Not
here's
true.
a bunch of movies. One of them, can we do All the Marbles? And then here's a
Just
bunch of movies
because
from
Nate talks,
1956 or whatever."
just because you're talking the loudest doesn't mean you're right.
I will continue to talk even louder until you agree with me.
This is
I will
such
start screaming.
this is such a betrayal of my
It is not.
trust.
I didn't.
We're kind of a strict podcast.
I hadn't
huh? All
even
these
seen
regular-
one of them.
This is fucked.
This is, you know that I
know. I figured because you'd already seen it, it was assigned to us.
Yeah, no. One of the ones that
Right, you've already seen All the Marbles.
We
and I was like,
we
well, I
talked
guess
about- well, no,
we
we-
really didn't.
No. Eddie and I talked about it, and you came up with the rules for this, right?
Sure,
You
yeah.
came up with the parameters, and then I came up with some
Just went
suggestions
over my
within
head.
the parameters. I was not the person. This is
Unbelievable.
not the person that makes the thing. I'm not the
Unbelievable.
decider. I may have had some input, but I was not the decider or the assigner.
Honestly, Nate, good for you. You got away with it. Successful
what are you
crime.
talking about?
Heist completed.
I have the minutes
That's
of
right.
Nate and I's meeting up on my phone right now. And while I want to say that he's vindicated, I want to say he's also kind of underselling his role. Like, I had a part in it. Boom. Three
my.
messages in a row. Double feature ideas.
Here we go.
And then two messages that basically set up our double feature. And I say, Jesus Christ, banger. Both are super sick, but it's number one. Boom. That's it. That's my input.
So really, not much input at
Yeah.
all.
Look, I'm a creative guy. I come up with a lot of good ideas. I can't.
My God.
I don't remember who takes my ideas or even who came up with them. Because I come up with so many, I don't know if I came up with them or
Will,
not.
does it mean you hated the movie?
I loved the movie.
I know. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast.
Oh, you're complaining about watching the movie.
I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
complaining.
no, always.
No.
Oh, Nate, thanks so much for taking me to this awesome restaurant.
No.
He always has to pick the
I'm
restaurant.
complaining.
Nate, I need a restaurant so bad. Why do you always have to pick?
I'm complaining
no.
because Nate is conniving and scheming as usual and making me try to feel crazy.
So this is like a pattern.
One of us
that's been-
has
This is
to
an
scheme.
absolute pattern.
One of us has to
I
scheme.
have schemes.
Yeah, why?
I have plenty of schemes.
I would like to see the reverse of this because this kind of lays it out like, yeah, Nate's definitely the schemer here. He's running the sting twice a week, just like on like how to pick the restaurant every time and go to the movies. I want to see Will run.
Nate's
scheme
Nate's
on
been
him.
paying $200 extra a month for the last year and a half. How about that, bitch?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to fucking Dubai on your dollar.
Oh, I have. Yeah.
How about that?
I have the parking space.
That's fine.
Ooh.
He has 3
Yeah.
DUIs. So
I had 3
it doesn't even
DUIs.
matter.
I don't even have a damn car.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Who
sick.
drove us here?
What's that?
Who drove us here?
Well, the only reason that I
Yeah,
drove us
that's
here
right.
was because
That's right,
because
dude.
no,
No.
because you.
It's like if driving Miss Daisy, if Miss Daisy was driving.
no,
That's
you
what
are
this is.
you
'Cause
are
you're the
you
girl.
are trying to be
'Cause you're the girl.
You are trying to be George and you're
Yeah.
Lenny.
movie.
You're
No.
trying to, you are Lenny.
No.
You're Lenny.
No, you're Mr.
Lenny's
You're Mr.
the-
and Mrs.
Lenny's
Daisy.
the slow one, right?
Look at Mr. and Miss Daisy.
I thought you guys
over
were
here.
talking about Lenny and Squiggy.
Who's
Who?
Squiggy?
This is some. What is this?
Boy,
Classic sitcom couple, you know, like Odd Couple type thing, you know.
from what is that?
Who's
From
whoa,
the movie? Is
Are
that
you guys talking about Lenny from The Simpsons?
No,
Who's
George and
Lenny
Lenny
and
from Of Mice
Squiggy?
and Men.
who did you mean?
Yeah,
I still
Because
don't
you
know
just
who
said
Squiggy
they're
is.
like an
Ziggy
odd
and
couple, but
Spiggy?
like from what?
The show was called Lenny and Squiggy.
Man,
no, it wasn't.
Never heard of
Hey,
That's
dog.
not true.
What are you talking about?
I don't have the DVDs to prove it, but there was a show.
Kenny and Spenny. He's thinking of Kenny and
was some
Are you
Spenny.
thinking of Kenny and Spenny? That wasn't a cartoon though, right?
No, that was on
movies, Apple
Comedy
TV.
Central.
Yeah. Boy, you are out your damn mind.
Consulting the extended clip research department right now.
All I'm saying is, me, Malcolm, JT, we're coming out of this squeaky clean. You and Nate look like lunatics.
That was a secret alliance.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude. We're
okay,
coming out of
okay.
this
I'm
squeaky
so
clean,
sorry that Lenny and Squiggy were the neighbors from Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, of course. How could I forget? Of course.
dude. Damn.
I know all of Laverne and Shirley's neighbors.
Oh, I don't know. Lenny and the Squigtones is a fictional musical group headlined by Michael McKean and
There's
David Landers.
there's the other side of the street. There was Mr. Grimp. There's the mailman Abner Throde. All those guys.
For the image. Bad for the extended clip image right there.
That I
name
know
drop.
about old
Oh,
sitcoms.
no, let's.
They had that dog named Gelp, didn't they? They had that beautiful dog named Gelp, and it died in the 3rd season. And how sad that was that Gelp died.
The only old TV thing I know is Straight to the Moon. That's all you know.
Oh, yeah, honeymoon.
The spousal abuse.
Yeah,
Yes.
spousal abuse. Yeah. So there was one where that's like how the show ended, right? Like she got to the moon.
Yeah. That's. yeah. That's how
One
it
hell
ended.
of a punch.
In this delightful motion picture entitled... title of this delightful motion picture is... The Girl Can't Help It. No, we made that. Well, anyway, this picture is about advertising agencies and television commercials. And it is called Gertrude, Crestview 5, 412... Oh, no, well, anyway... the picture takes place in New York City, New York. And the name of it is...
Will success spoil Rock Hunter?
Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter?
Will success spoil Rock Hunter is the question. It doesn't matter why we watched this movie. It matters that we did watch this movie. This is a great movie. And Malcolm, if I recall correctly, your Twitter avatar...
I got to call you out. So did you come here to honor me?
What? What are you talking about?
Was that a pick, like an honor, like an homage to me or something? No, because my Twitter AVI is from Will Success.
It is?
Yeah.
It is?
That still where he has like 3 pipes in his mouth.
Oh, damn.
I've never been able to see up close enough.
You never zoomed in.
I never really zoomed in on Malcolm's avatar.
I've never
either.
zoomed in on anyone's avatar. I just see like a blob.
I was
and
just
it's
like,
the right
Malcolm look
color.
old as hell.
Yeah.
My man.
Yeah, Malcolm gets stoned for real.
I feel like
Malcolm on that Bin Laden pipe. He put 3 types of weed in 3 different pipes.
shit got me looking like Tony Randall.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of makes me look like a racist or something. Like just having like the old white guy profile. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're a statue guy, kind of.
Yeah, like-
Yeah.
Well, maybe I am.
You're a return to tradition of the Jerry Lewis sculpture.
Yeah,
exactly,
exactly. Yeah. They took this away, and it's a picture of Frank Tashlin like looking at a big set of titties, and they gave us this, and it's Paul Feig dressed super. Yeah.
Well, super. What's I don't know. Can you finish the for me?
Spoil Rock Hunter.
Will it?
Malcolm, so you're obviously a big fan of this film. You've seen this film before. Nate, you had not seen this film before.
I have not.
What was your initial reaction? What was your initial takeaway here?
I was very I got very fired up.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is spoiling it to any of the untrained viewers, but there is it's a very anti-TV movie, which I got really, really fired up and excited about. We love looking down on television. I don't know if anybody else can relate. It's one of those movies where it feels like the way I look at reality, like put out in the world. Not the the titty stuff or whatever, but the Looney Tunes-ness, the vibrance, the way people bounce off of each other. It's sick. I loved it. It's cool as hell.
Yeah, and I mean Frank Tashlin obviously comes originally from animation, did some classic Looney Tunes as a director before moving into live action, and the Looney Tunes sensibility never really got away from him. Just like the insertion of gags where there's already a whole comedic structure to a scene, but it's like you could add another gag that seems completely out of this world because it worked in Looney Tunes and it'll work in a movie too sometimes. Yeah, I fucking love this movie. What you said about looking down on TV is so true. I mean, there's an interlude toward the end of this movie that is basically just saying, hey, you pigs, you fucking, I almost said a bad word, idiotic TV watchers. I bet you want to have a commercial break right now, right? I bet you want to look at me on a really small screen and have a commercial break because you're so stupid because you watch TV. And how about the radio audience? Let me just narrate everything that happens, you blind idiots. Fucking awesome. I love that. That's like the 50s, one of the major themes is Hollywood going bigger to compete with television. Of course, that's why CinemaScope comes around and is such a big deal. And you have all these big historical epics and stuff like that. A lot of it looks kind of phony and is kind of corny looking back. But I think this is a much better jab at that within, the social satire.
The
that
fake
runs
ads
the whole film.
too. The fake ads are awesome in the beginning, where it's like, from the makers of Spam, try Spum, delicious sausage and ham meat.
Maybe really that's like the Tropic Thunder opening.
It is, It really is exactly
Booty
like
sweat,
the Tropic Thunder opening. Wow.
Kind of similar movies in some sense.
Well, no,
this film is a little more
yeah,
progressive.
wow.
It actually cast people of color in certain roles. No, just kidding.
True. Don't condone. We don't condone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this break in our motion picture is made out of respect for the TV fans in our audience who are accustomed to constant interruptions in their programs for messages from sponsors. We want all you TV fans to feel at home and not forget the thrill you get watching television on your big 21-inch screens. I have a 21-inch screen myself, and it's loads of fun. TV is a remarkable invention. Where did you go? Oh, there you are. Hi.
But I think looking down at TV, it did make me think like when I was watching that interlude part, I was like, yeah, he's right. I mean, even with streaming, it's like if you're watching Succession, you got time to text. You got time to look at your phone a little bit. It's like the way that TV operates. And also this made me think about current TV because of fan culture in this movie. And it's like the height of like fan magazines and all these like crazy,
Celebrity
studio
gossip.
PR stunt moves, celebrity gossip. And it kind of translates directly to contemporary stan culture online. And like these people that are just psychotic and devote their entire identity to worshiping one celebrity. this was like the original height of it, with like the fan magazines and everything like that. And I love how this movie hates that. Like, it just makes it all seem so fucking stupid and worthless. And I think this film was a big failure at the time financially, and anything this cynical in the 50s was going to be a failure. This is just like, you can't be this cynical and bitter about the industry and be successful in the time of like the big 50s epics and stuff. But I fucking love this movie.
I mean, I feel like it does it in a playful way to where it is cynical, but it's like, I don't know, like it never feels too mad. You know what I mean? It's all about
it's still having fun.
Playfulness, jokes, colors, all that shit.
It's making fun.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, it loves everything. It's cool as hell. Like, I mean, the guys, we should say the plot of the movie.
Sure.
The guy falls bass backwards into dating Jane Mansfield and develops the best life ever.
Yeah.
And then his girlfriend is like, I need to start working out all the time to keep my man. And me and Will were like, that's kind of bars for real.
Well,
like, we need to go back to
mean,
this shit.
sometimes, they be getting a little too comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
They really do.
This movie awoke in something where it's like, this is going to be like a manosphere roundtable because of a lot of the masculine theory going on in this movie.
It does have a lot of male mindset. It's got a lot of very,
it is like the whole sex thing and like male mindset, but also Tony Randall is just like so desperately trying not to get pussy in this movie too. He's like allergic to it. The trade up is not even considered in his mind.
Well, that's what I love about the
He's all about business deals.
It's the coolest kind of guy who has success because he gets immense success, does not use it to get pussy, but instead he uses it to snub guys in the hallway.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
It's like
which is what you should do.
It's like one of those memes where it's like, girlfriend, no, special place to poop.
No, but I think that's a major theme running through this movie is that like his job is emasculating. He has this super successful job, but like it's Tony Randall. It's this guy who's not going to be like the super macho guy. In earlier movies, he could be kind of coded as a little homo even. And I mean like a little bit homo, not a small homo. But
Yo, man, you coding a little homo right now.
Eddie went back for seconds on that one.
No, I went back for clarifications. I know what you're going back for seconds on. But
Oh, no.
No, but anyway, so his job is partially like to sell female sex appeal, right? And like he's selling like lipstick and all this stuff that's like selling sexuality, and yet he is this cucked, emasculated guy who, a classic setup for back then. He has a perfectly fine like girlfriend, wife, whatever. It is just like, well, there's going to be a story, so you could kind of fuck off.
Got the
acceptable.
niece life.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he's so emasculated by it that he ends up falling into a relationship with literally a sex symbol, playing herself as a sex symbol, kind of playing more of a satire of Marilyn Monroe, but also a bit of herself. And he's just like, no, oh, God, oh, fuck, no.
He's a good man.
He's all about hard work and success. That's why. Yeah. And the metaphor there is he's got to keep his pipe wet. That's the metaphor running through is that pipe's got to stay wet. And what that means to every man, I think, is different. Because Rock Hunter, that's not every man's version of success. But some men, that's what you want. You just want to keep that pipe wet.
No, I mean, it's great talking about like his friend who's like his boss at the beginning, like that little monologue he gives on success, the women are more willing and, all that stuff. It is kind of funny how it's like, you saying like everyone has a different idea of success. It's like his friend would kill to be, Tony Randall right now, but it's just like, it's just on the perimeter, so it's just kind of funny how, Randall doesn't seem to appreciate the situation that, you think a lot of guys would like, but he's just a hustler.
Yeah, because it's like the coolest thing about it is like, it's like, what do you actually want in this world? Yeah. I don't care about hoes. I don't care about fame. I want the cool place to take a dump, and I want the good weed. That's it. I want to fill my pipe with the good stuff. And I want to do it. I want to do it in the nicest bathroom.
The executive washroom is like the idea of that is still maybe the most alluring part of corporate life. Having your own work bathroom, like especially for these guys mostly being married men, so they still share the bathroom with the wife. This is a place at your office where you spend 8+ hours a day, where you can just like paint the bowl. No problem. Just go off.
Not flushing.
Bring a
Put
book.
stuff in towels in there.
Yeah.
Somebody's cleaned that up. It's not me.
Yes.
You spend the whole day in the bathroom.
There's a minimum wage worker whose entire job is cleaning your toilet.
You know I'm having meetings in there like Lyndon Johnson. I'm making him stand outside the door.
Like, compare that to like almost every restaurant job I've ever had where there's one restroom in the whole place and it's for customers and workers alike, and it's like, really, you expect me to get high in that bathroom?
Yeah, Will and I loved about the movie how much the guy was us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We felt it was very we felt very like represented in the sense of like we are climbing the ladder by accident.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing it in a way that is all we can do is despair. You can never take
joy in any.
Absolutely
any
not.
level of
No.
success.
There's no solace to be had.
Yeah.
JT, what did you think about this movie? Had you seen much Frank Tashlin before this one?
I think I've seen a few of his Jerry Lewis collabs, and then some of his like Looney Tunes work. And I was like obviously primed, ready to love it, and I did. And yeah, I don't know. It's just like it has that crazy, like frenetic, like sensibility to it. Like right from the beginning is like punchy and like on the nose in like all the points where it matters. Like literally, like I just watched this like I don't know, like a few hours before we started recording, and just like I love that sort of like when he has it all there at the moment. There's literally a song like about how it's like this is everything you've wanted, and it's like his name glowing like in the like on the executive like office thing. Everything like that is just so crazy and over the top, and it does it with such a light breezy style like right from the beginning. Like I think there's that like montage where like Tony Randall is like he thinks he's gonna get fired or something, where he's just like getting massages or like at doctors' offices in various places, and all those cuts were so funny.
There's also a like surreal Groucho Marx cameo at the end where Groucho Marx gets to be horny. Which,
George Schmidlap.
Yeah, you gotta love that. That's like just a great note to go out on, you know. And it feels like it's critical of like everything, like not just art and media and film, but just like the whole system, like capitalist whatever. It's probably not like Frank Tashlin's like, dude, we're gonna overthrow the capitalist system.
He was trying to go Marxist.
No, but it's like it is
so true.
The job market and like competitive stuff like that can be farcical and chaotic, and you know, it can be a story of a guy reaching those heights purely by being a doofus who's like scared of big boobs, where, you know, Frank Tashlin clearly is not scared of big boobs.
He does the Tony Randall just is, by the way, just does the funniest like acting as other characters. It was like just him doing like the little voices and like the little facial expressions of like what it means to be cool. Like that's what I love about like how like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, like gooey, like Frank Tashlin's directing is. That just like guys can just do that with their faces and stuff. They can just look so fucked up. It's awesome when he just like acts all smug. He looks like a way a cartoon animal would look smug, you know? It's awesome.
I think that the smart way to close on this is to read from a smart guy, because like we've been like having fun riffing on this movie, but it's also like high art kind of, you know. Obviously. So I'll end with a little Jonathan Rosenbaum here. It kind of hits the nail on the head here. It creates this dystopian version of New York in which TV and advertising, rightly perceived as synonymous, obliterate the divisions between public and private. I think that pretty much sums up the whole arc of Rock Hunter right there.
Yeah, I was basically going to say that, but you got there first.
The thing is, this is not the first time. This is not an isolated incident. Yesterday, I saw Jonathan Rosenbaum post it was like classic, like jonathanrosenbaum.org/1158 whatever. It's like a still is like a picture of a woman's breast from a movie. Yeah. But I click through and it's this. It just says like, I would strike out Timothée Chalamet on 3 pitches. I was just like, what the fuck? That he's biting his whole shit.
Damn, I didn't know where you're going with that one.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I thought that was real for a second.
I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Oh, actually, before we move on,
Yes.
can we? Did you guys see the bit from Tony Randall's Wikipedia page? Have we talked about this?
No, please,
please
talk
good.
about it.
I pull it up. Will, do you want to read it?
Wait,
Will you do the honors
now.
for me?
I remember this now.
So this is from Tony Randall's personal life in his Wikipedia. Randall was married to his high school sweetheart, Florence Gibbs, from 1938 until her death from cancer on April 18th, 1992.
Sweetest guy of all time.
Beautiful guy. How about that? On November 17th, 1995, at the age of 75, he married 25-year-old Heather Harlan, an understudy from the School for Scandal in which Randall was starring at the National Actors Theater. The ceremony was officiated by Rudy Giuliani.
The cherry on top.
Dude, what a life.
I mean, it's literally this movie, and it's this movie in microcosm.
Well, hey, he stayed loyal. He, and he got his reward.
That's what
at
we're
the
saying.
end.
He did, you know what?
He did nothing wrong.
Yeah, he did not a damn thing wrong.
Yeah.
This is a great movie. I give it 4 bullets.
I give it 4.5 bullets.
Wow.
And Randall, they brought their all.
I don't.
Is that a 5?
Yeah.
I give it 4 swords. I'm not into. I'm more into the blade.
I give it 4 bigger, sharper swords.
You guys are fucking libtards trying to take our guns away. JT?
Dude. You don't need a gun. You don't need a gun when you've mastered the blade, dude.
I'll close it out with 4.5 bullets.
Great. Got the scores in. That's all you need, really. People fast forward through the podcast, get the scores, go on. I don't put it in the info, though, because you got to get the
It's smart. You got to make them work for it.
Yeah, you got to make. Yeah. We'll be right back on Extended Clip.
Well, I thought a pipe would give me a successful Gregory Peck look.
Gregory Peck. Darling, you're not making any sense.
You know something? You're right. I couldn't even keep the darn thing lit. You know, I met a psychiatrist at a party once, and he told me that my pipe smoking revealed my psychic tensions. Half of me wanted success, while the other half wanted failure. So I couldn't make up my mind whether to inhale or exhale. And that's why my pipe would go out. And he was right. I couldn't keep my pipe lit, and now I'm out.
Oh, yeah, old school clip, man.
And we're back on Extended Clip. It's Malcolm in the Middle. Life is Unfair. Everybody's favorite segment. Malcolm, how's life been treating you lately?
It's been really good. But I gotta reverse that. How about you? How's life for you, Eddie? Because I never, it's always about my life. They know too much at this point.
I was not ready for this. You got to prepare me for this in advance. I'm not ready to talk about my personal life on our public podcast.
Well, just thumbs up, thumbs down.
3 stars.
That's good.
Yeah. It's fine. I don't want to go into actual detail about it. Now I understand why you feel so pressured every time I ask you how your
there's
life
no
is
pressure.
going.
There's no pressure, man.
My life is beautiful.
It's an easy thing
There's
to
also a writer's strike impending, and I work in the film industry, and so I'm I haven't worked in 3 weeks, which is a little antsy. But it's the NBA playoffs, so I'd rather be unemployed. That's looking at it sunny side up.
God's plan.
But I've been watching some movies.
Okay, what have you seen lately?
Just the other night, right before I saw Jimmy Butler put on one of his all-time playoff performances, I rewatched Bodoo Saved from Drowning. See, this is the thing about playoffs. You gotta fit in the movies where you can. The weekends, there's fucking 4 games. That's almost 12 hours of basketball. You can't physically watch a movie after 12 hours of basketball. So the other day, I was like, let's get something under 90 minutes. It's 2 o'clock. I'll get a movie in, and then I have a beautiful night of basketball.
Quick fix.
Little did I know. Well, actually, I did know. I've seen this movie before. It's one of the best movies ever. Jean Renoir's Bodoo Saved from Drowning is about a bourgeoisie guy in France in the 30s seeing a homeless guy being like, that dude seems like he's kind of awesome. Like he's fucked up, but he's kind of awesome. Let's bring him in. Let's domesticate him. You know. And so he wrecks everything at the house, tries to grope all the women, kiss all the women, wrecks the house, doesn't know how to eat properly, and he's a big slob. And it's that's what happens when you try to help out the homeless, I guess. No, it's a beautiful movie. It's like a very simple kind of moral tale. And it is one of the greatest performances ever by Michel Simon as Baudu, the homeless drifter who just belongs to the rivers of Paris. He just likes to hang out, just fucking sing his old songs, get drunk, just hang out by the river, be an old man. You don't gotta fuss with all this upper class Parisian life. You can just hang out by the river.
Damn, I love that you had 2 hours to kill and you're like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Well, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rewatch a movie from 100 years ago about a bum who falls in a creek.
That's that's the kind of the basis of the podcast.
That's a really good commitment. I mean, I admire the commitment to the craft.
JT, have you watched anything noteworthy of late?
Yeah. Recently, I checked out the 2009 Nancy Meyers movie. It's Complicated.
Oh yeah.
I've been going rom-com mode pretty hard recently, and I don't know. This one just like poster alone has some like iconic mugging. Like the Meryl Streep look she's making after like Alec Baldwin has just like the greatest post-nut smile.
Oh, I know that smile. I know what you're talking
about. You've ever seen?
Oh, I love that smile.
No, I remember walking to Little League with my friend that year. It was like our last year of Little League before high school, 8th grade. And he's like, dude, I saw that movie. It's Complicated. I know they're old, but like it was kind of hot. I was like, dude, what?
That boy's ahead of his time, dude.
The boy had MILF mania.
Yeah, my God.
JT, am I remembering correctly? Is there a scene where Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep smoke a joint together in that movie?
Yes, there is.
It's Steve Martin, actually, and Meryl Streep. It's Alec Baldwin gives Meryl Streep the joint, and he's like, "Save it for later for me." And then because it's like it's the go between it's the love triangle between the three of them. And they are going to like a dinner party. It's just like the great, like, I don't know, seeing like some of the played out, like, or not played out, but like the staples of like the rom-com genre. Like here, like you get Meryl Streep and the girls having wine, talking about like, what if a woman hasn't had sex and her pussy gets like got shut? It's like part of the combo. You get boomers being like smoking pot for the first time and being like, wow, this shit hit different, don't it? And just like so many, and like Steve Martin's, like, I don't know. Like when I get high, I feel like I have very noticeable like squinty eyes, and like Steve Martin, I can't imagine they gave him like he got high during the making of this film. I don't think the antics on a Nancy Meyers movie, like I don't think they'd go. I think Nancy keeps it clean. None of that drug nonsense on set.
Keep it PG-13 on set, guys.
He has the squintiest, like his stoned acting, phenomenal.
No, yeah, I mainly remembered that. Basically, yeah, there's some raunchy sex, and there's they smoke weed in that movie. That's pretty much all I remember.
That's all you need to know.
There's like a Spanglish type scene where Meryl Streep takes Steve Martin to her bakery to seduce him by baking croissants for him. Honestly,
that's
sick.
A great scene.
Great scene. See, that's the power of Nancy Meyers. That movie has some of the worst actors of all time in it. It has Jim from The Office. And it has Zoe Kazan also.
Damn. 2 CIA agents.
I don't remember Kazan in that.
Yeah, dude, she's the daughter. And her whole role is like, right? Mom, why do you have a boyfriend?
You're too old to get fucked.
That's the power of Nancy Meyers. Is that movie is so watchable every time it's on YouTube TV and there's a commercial break between during a basketball game, I will I'll pop over to any Nancy Meyers movie for 15 minutes.
Well, also there's a little bit more juice to anything Alec Baldwin does now too. You know,
true. He's a killer.
That's so true.
Stone cold.
It's like watching OJ highlights. You're like, damn, this guy used to ball.
2,000 yards, damn, dude.
You know what? He didn't do it. I know. They tried to stick a charge on him. Whatever. He's innocent. He didn't kill her.
We're trying to make an example out of him or something.
Yeah.
That memorabilia was his too.
Yeah,
Like, that was stupid.
Yeah.
You guys watch anything recently?
Have we? No, I feel
No.
like no. I just
Nice.
no.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, man. I just watch NASCAR these days.
Yeah.
That's all I watch.
Anything good happen in NASCAR recently?
No, don't ask him that.
You don't
question.
want to. Yeah, you can't. You,
Holy
too much
fucking shit!
time.
You do not want to ask him that question.
A car flipped over like 9 times.
That
was
sounds
pretty
cool.
sick. The guy went to the hospital.
Okay.
That was pretty
like
cool.
that.
Prayers up.
Well, yeah, because you want him to get better. That's what I like about it.
He's good. He's chilling.
I like
Cool.
the fast recoveries.
Oh, I watched the new Guy Ritchie, Operation Endgame.
Oh yeah.
So tight.
Yeah. I was
Oh my
thinking about
gosh,
seeing
I've
it.
never been more confident that a movie was made for tax reasons than I was that movie. There was, like you could tell it was a peak COVID movie because it was very clearly nobody was in the same room. Aubrey Plaza's like doing something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense in the movie.
One snuck completely by me. I
Yeah,
had no
by
idea.
design, by
Yeah,
design.
'cause
They really
he did
nobody
the other
wanted
one,
you to see
Wrath
that.
of Man, and that was like pretty cool.
Wrath of Man
was
was
good.
sick, dude.
What's
I mean,
it
I'm the
called?
biggest Guy Ritchie head.
Operation Fortune.
Operation Fortune, something like that. Yeah.
Operation Fortune. What the fuck?
I
I've
think
never
they had
heard of
to-
this movie.
That's the
No.
fakest
I think they had
fucking
to
title.
change it a lot because of like Ukraine, Russia.
No, they
stuff.
did. Yeah, initially the bad guys were Ukrainian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they had to change it
Oh,
because
wow.
of friends of people we don't like on Twitter.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Until those people
until
got
they
involved.
showed up.
We'll leave it to you to fill in who those people are.
You could put in a lot of different types.
You guys, it's very mysterious.
No, it's a big. Listen, I think Josh Hartnett. I think is having a moment. Hartnett, isn't that his name?
No, I know, but I didn't know he was in that movie.
No, yeah,
Good
no,
call.
he's sick. He's having a moment. He's coming back, and I think he deserves it. I think he's a bona fide hottie with acting chops,
Oh yeah,
and he never got a fair shake.
he's the one from the Black Dahlia, right?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
man,
Josh Hartnett.
Hartnett.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah.
got punished for being
Deservedly
too hot.
Remember
lusted
40
after.
days. Remember 40 days of
Of course, dude.
nights?
The
Remember-
feather,
40
yeah.
days of nights.
Yeah. What, 40
days
days.
of nights.
40 days of nights. Fuck
40
yeah,
night
dude.
times.
Whatever.
Dude, that would suck.
Dude, the
40 days
movie
in a
about
row,
a
no
guy.
sunshine?
The movie
Yeah.
about a guy who tried not to have sex for 40 days, and
That's fucking.
all the
hard as
people
fuck.
around him were like, "What are you doing?"
It's still an insanely ridiculous premise for someone.
Really crazy. Yeah.
40 days of no
I remember
nut.
there. I have like a flash memory at the beginning of that movie because the first scene is he's like having sex with a stranger, and he like can't bust because he's just like, I've been having so much sex lately with so many strangers. This means nothing to me. And so like the girl's like, have you finished? And he's like, yeah, 1 second. And he goes into his roommate's room, and I think the roommate was like a Culkin or something. And he goes into his roommate's room. He's like, do you have any like whiteout? And he's like, why? And he's like, I need to pretend that I busted in the condom, so I need to put whiteout in there. And I was like, is that what it's supposed to look like? That's not what mine does.
I thought you were just gonna say yes. He jerks his roommate off.
Yeah,
That's his-
yeah.
No,
yeah.
no.
He goes into the fridge and steals a jar labeled "Come, do not take side, John."
He should have done the
Second
prank
mix with
that
those.
my friends tried to do on me in
They tried to
8th
jerk
grade.
you
They
off.
jerked you off while you were asleep.
And I beat their asses.
Hey, this is Eddie's friends, and this is jerk him off until he comes.
13-year-old me not getting molested by another 13-year-old boy. That was not going down.
Eddie's getting titty fucked by Preston.
Just guys being guys, man. You know.
No, so here's the horribly conceived prank. My friend wakes me up. It's like a big sleep, like 5 of us spending the night at one of my friend's house. He's like, dude, okay,
4-on-1.
we have the craziest prank we're going to get Michael with. And I'm like, all right, what's the prank? He's like, so I went in the bathroom and I jerked off into this cup. I was like, that's gross.
That's great.
It was actually like toothpaste and hot water, I guess.
Oh,
Because I looked and I was like, that's gross. That's not
Go
not
to the
what mine
doctor,
there's
was.
like streaks of
Well, yeah.
blue in it.
The thing is, I'm 13 at this point. Like, if mine looks different, I'm not gonna be like that. You should go to a doctor, you know. So he's like, so let's do like the classic, you know, shaving cream tickle thing with him, but he's gonna hit himself in the face with my cum. I'm like, that's gross.
That's next level. That's an awesome prank.
Yeah, it's like 3 pranks going on at once.
Yeah. But wait, the prank was on me. I had to do it. And then the guy who was asleep was awake the whole time, ready to like. So he let me put it on his hand, and then I see him like wake up like a zombie and just go to slap me in the face, and I it doesn't make contact. Like there's a mess. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? That's gross. Yeah. And they're like, well, it wasn't actually cum, but that was the joke, because you thought you were gonna have cum,
right?
On your face, not him. And I was like, this is kind of very well thought out, but also a lot of flaws.
That's brilliant.
You know,
And you're like, screw you guys. I'm gonna go watch 2,000 movies in the next 5 years. And not talk to any of you.
Literally, I haven't talked to any of those guys since I was like 17, probably.
Damn, but seriously, prankster geniuses, all of them.
Yeah, really, like that had like more twists than like Dress to Kill. That was
The Bam. That was like the Bam face lotion prank.
If they actually came in the cup, that's like 10 out of 10.
Yeah. If there's somebody brave enough to bust.
Yeah.
I think what they should the 4th level of prank should have been somebody came in the cup while the guy who put the toothpaste in wasn't looking. And that would have been, then the guy gets up out of the bed and slaps the original cup guy and goes, what'd you slap me for? And go, that's cum. And you're like, no, it's not. I put the toothpaste in there. Oh, yeah?
I think they all should have just had sex with each other and jerked each other.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what...
We'll be right back on Extended.
Wait, I didn't say my movie.
Oh, what did you want?
Dude, what the fuck? It's my fucking segment. Well, I watched The Pope's Exorcist, and, and it was really good. And
was it actually?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe really is,
but like good.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. You know, it's like a solid exorcism movie. You know, there's like, I think one of the times the kid's like tells the priest like, you guys are gonna fuck each other or something like that. But it's mostly just Crow just swagged out. Like, it's basically like a rogue exorcist. Whoa. And the Vatican's like, your rough and rowdy ways are no good, man. You got to tone it down, you know, because he like sacrifices animals during his like exorcisms and shit like that.
He's hardcore.
But yeah, as in the promo, there's a lot of great shots of like, you know, kind of chubbier Russell Crowe on the like Italian Vespa scooter, and that's like kind of how he gets around. And they really do play. There's like at least 5 to 6 shots of him riding around on the scooter. I don't know. It's solid horror fare, but you know, it is. I do have to mention it every time he's brought up, you know, excessively. You know, Russell Crowe does have me blocked on Twitter, so I have.
I forgot. What did you do again?
It was honestly. He's kind of soft. He's kind of soft. He's kind of soft.
It was because of the tweet that everyone thinks is epic. Malcolm called him out on it being weak.
I called him.
There's a tweet of Russell Crowe's that says like, "I love maps, looking at maps and exploring boundaries," or some bullshit like that. And Malcolm just said "loser," and he.
We've all got one block that we're like, I feel like I didn't deserve this at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, I did call, you know.
You did call him a loser.
Yeah.
And for who do you think you are?
I was
Russell
like,
Crowe.
I was like 16 or something.
Yeah, Malcolm's early tweet game is crazy.
Sure, go through the archives.
I shouldn't expose that on the pod. But,
no.
Malcolm was at it as a youngster. Like he was in the AAU program of like tweeting.
Yeah.
I'm like a science experiment.
We'll be right back on Extended Clip.
What's the name of the act?
The California Dolls.
Oh, yeah, the sexy broads.
Same ones.
Never heard of them.
Of course you heard of them. They're outstanding. Here's the thing, Sally. These kids got that certain something. They got a magic. They're like rock stars. Believe me, the audience goes crazy. They've got beauty and they've got talent.
Call me in the summer.
When?
June.
June? I can't call you in June, Sally. Christ, that's 8 months away.
Sometimes things are all.
When it's that close,
sometimes things are okay.
When it's that close, it's kind of like you didn't even hit it.
I'm talking to a guy in a Cavs jersey about his team getting eliminated, about me hitting the under. Sometimes things are just okay. You know, like it's just work out.
Hey, we're both in.
It's a hit, dude. You know what I'm talking about?
At least somebody's winning, right? You know?
No, that's a rough loss. I'm sorry. Like that.
No, it's fine.
that
Like,
sucks.
dude, like last month, I was like fucking Eastern Conference Finals or bust. And fuck me.
You think they blow it up? Retool?
Dude, I mean, people are talking. I mean, I think if we don't want to get too deep into this, but I don't know if Mobley's going to be the guy everybody thinks he's going to be.
Offensively,
I'm not buying Mobley. No. He doesn't have, I don't know. He has very not killer instinct.
The floor is like elevated Gobert, like a little better on offense. Gobert.
He might be a little bit. People are saying Duncan. I'm like, there's no way, dude. That's the thing. I think it's Simmons and all the it's all the Simmons tards who.
I was gonna say everyone who's ever gotten a check from the Ringer thinks he's gonna be either Kevin Garnett or Tim Duncan.
Yes,
and everyone else is very questionable about his offense. Defensively, obviously, he's like already elite. It's crazy, but like, come on, he's not there. He's not there, but he's young. He could get there.
No,
he's not
totally.
there.
Yeah,
he's not there. That's been sports talk.
Yeah,
we really
talk.
just got to do a fucking basketball podcast. It would be so much better than movies. Who's this for, you idiot?
At least there's like, but it would be literally from now on.
No, I went on Josh Lewis's podcast and I was like, they were like, so why I picked Commando and Under Siege.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you pick this? I was like, because Arnold Schwarzenegger is like LeBron and Steven Seagal is like Russell Westbrook. I was like, why are you saying that? And I was like, I don't know.
Sorry, I think every podcast is Bill Simmons.
Yeah.
I think you're Bill Simmons. I think this is how all podcasts work.
True.
I think I'm Ryan Russillo.
Yeah. I always think I'm Ryan Russo. Like, whenever I'm alone too long, I just kind of start thinking in his voice. No, just kidding. My favorite Russillo clip of all time is peak COVID bad content was Bill Simmons' Book of Basketball 2.0, where he decides instead of writing a sequel to his book, he'll just kind of like reboot his book as a podcast because there's no basketball on. And
I loved it.
I loved it too. Yeah. Oh, it's one of the dumbest things ever, and I listened to every episode, some of them twice. My favorite part in any of it is when Russillo starts talking about how he wants to have Raya for guys who are friends with each other.
Yeah, dude, there's
as I said, you can do elite level guys.
You could do a supercut of Russillo being like, yeah, I don't really have any friends. He's just like, so often.
What's wrong with two elite level guys getting together?
That is so awesome.
He's so cool, dude.
Like, one of the greatest. I'm gonna go to Summer League this year and meet him. I think that's the Hodge. It's like going to Summer League and like sitting with fucking sitting behind what's his name, Max Christie or one of those Lakers end of the bench guys.
Mac McClung, dude.
Yeah, dude, seeing McClung, seeing Russillo from across the room, just like fuck it, that's him, that's the guy.
Sit behind him and just
you know who I'm boys with on Instagram, who I've like messaged with is George Niang.
Oh really,
dude? We're boys.
Dude,
yeah,
he's on my fucking 2K franchise.
Dude,
right now.
no,
he's my backup power forward.
Dude, I posted like a picture of being like a Bengals jersey, and he's like, "Who day?" I was like, George, are you a Bengals fan? He's like, yeah, let's go. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. No, we're boys. Sick. It's awesome.
Oh man, a great announcer name when he's like nailing threes, just like Niang. We're back on Extended Clip. It's All the Marbles. It's directed by Robert Aldrich. It stars Lieutenant Columbo and a bunch of ladies who wrestle with their titties falling out sometimes. It's one of the most like. If you told me that Nate picked a movie, I would be like, yeah, this is, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like, this doesn't help my case much at all. I did unfortunately.
Have those premises are like that and Smokey and the Bandit, which is just like Burt Reynolds transporting beers like to a car party.
I got kind of caught red-handed. I gotta be honest. It's directed by a guy who grew up down the street from me.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Robert Aldrich is from Cranston, Rhode Island.
Damn.
And he's one of the Aldriches, which is, if you're from Rhode Island, that's a name you know. Like basically like every governor of the state of Rhode Island from the 1850s to the 1950s was directly or indirectly related to Robert Aldrich, and his brother married a Rockefeller. Like they were super elite tier old money New England like Federalist types.
That is hilarious because his movies always give off that like tough feeling. Like he's like a tough B-movie.
My man
director.
gets the goddamn Rust Belt.
Yeah, and he looks exactly not like that. He looks like a fucking like a Cranston mayor. Like he looks incredibly like dumpy. He looks like Peter Griffin almost.
Yeah. No, I saw in his wiki that he was like he came from like a super wealthy family, and that like since he was going to school to make movies, he was denied like his inheritance.
They cut him off. Absolutely. No. He moved to LA penniless and like did the grind, working as like in studios and then eventually as like an AD. Like he worked his way up the ranks.
Yeah, he was like the god AD basically.
Yeah, one of the sickest guys of all time.
He must run like shit like the Navy. I mean, a god AD. Well, you kind of fear those guys on set. You don't like those guys.
He kept like the Aldrich company too. Like he kept like the same crew that like worked kind of consistently on his movies.
See, that's the thing. Like we say we like movies, but do we like millions of dollars? Would we not give it up for millions of dollars like he did?
Yeah.
No, I would.
That man loves movies.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm taking. He loves them more than me.
I'm taking that money and I'm watching.
I'm watching
Ren and
basketball.
Stimpy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're telling me I can live in an ancient Rhode Island mansion and be married to Hortensia Rockefeller the Ninth, and all of our kids are born like green because we have an old inbreeding disease? Sign me up, dude.
Yeah, dude, you could go to the Hot Club from Something About Mary.
Oh.
Become the king of Providence.
There was a time when I was in 3rd grade, I would tell kids that I would tell these kids, I was like, hey, I don't want to, but if I did, I could become governor of Rhode Island. Like if I started my trajectory right now, I would 100% make it.
How did they react to that?
They were like, "Yep, sure."
Every time Nate tells me a story from his childhood, I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
That's awesome.
Little Nate.
Yeah,
that could be like a Little Bill type.
Tell him
series.
about the Greek.
Oh yeah, me and my 2 best friends in high school would show up to for like 6 months or a year, once a week, would show up an hour early at 7:30 a.m. so we could learn ancient Greek from our Latin teacher.
Dude, if I went to high school with Nate, I would make him drink piss.
Yeah,
no doubt, dude.
You know what's funny is Nate and I had a day. Nate and I worked on a movie together last year, and we had a day in Providence, Rhode Island, where we like walked around. And he was showing me all the old haunts, and we did walk by his old school.
Yeah,
and there was a certain strut in his step to where it's like that's a different man. Like that grounds had a different.
Started running like Goku.
I used to literally do like Naruto runs.
My God,
but I would do Naruto runs because I had like 50 pounds of books in my backpack. Somebody once said I ran like Naruto because I had a 50-pound backpack on.
Why were you running though?
To catch a bus or just for the jouissance of being a child.
The first time I saw a kid do like the Naruto or like anime run, like because I was in kindergarten, so it was like 99. I don't know if Naruto was around, but it was a cartoon run, where you put your hands behind your back and you run like a superhero. And he was like the fastest kid in the class.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is that how you do it?
Oh, I had wheels. I ran pretty goddamn quick.
All the Marbles is a film by Robert Aldrich. Robert Aldrich, he made films like toward the tail end of the studio era, saw that collapse, survived through independent and low-budget studio fare in the 60s and 70s, and even into the 80s. He's one of those guys that can say they saw like they worked through the fall of the studio system and they worked in the 80s Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Like him, Jerry Lewis, Sam Fuller, a few others. Yeah. And it's a film about just keep on going. It's a guy who's something of a journeyman director, and you have this 2-bit wrestling promoter played by Peter Falk. And for the most part, for the first hour of the movie, they're barely getting by on these cheap promos, getting beat up every night. And it feels like a classic. Like if there's a Cahiers du Cinema review of this in 1982, it would have been like some French critics come on the magazine, and that's it. Like it's like a metatextual reading, late style Robert Aldrich, old American master, making a film about hardworking Americans with a TV icon as the star. Like this is like purebred auteurism right here.
Oh yeah, it's him. It's him doing his own career in microcosm.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest way to read the movie. It's like that's Robert Aldrich, and his movies are all about how he had to wrestle to get what he got, and he didn't play by anybody's rules. And if they showed a little skin along the way, so be it.
That's also what Magic Mike 3 is about, I realized.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean,
I didn't watch that. I was too busy watching basketball.
Yeah.
What were you doing? You were watching Bodoo save from drowning, that's
I take after my idol, Le Cap. So, I've been caught in many lies.
Old school jazz or I listen to a lot of like Beethoven and shit too.
JT, Had you seen much Robert Aldrich before? What'd you think about this movie?
I've only seen Kiss Me Deadly, which I really loved a lot.
One of the best movies ever.
Robert Aldrich has like 3 solid like movies my dad has told me to watch. Like,
yeah, he's very much
times.
a dad
like,
director.
Dirty Dozen, Longest Yard, and Veracruz are all movies my dad has talked about at
all
some
good
point.
movies.
Yeah, respect your dad for the Veracruz pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this was sick. Like the first half of this is just mostly like hang out with these, I don't know, fun loser characters. You get like I don't know, you get some fun like 70s-ish titties in this as well. Like there's what is there not to enjoy? Yeah.
What was your theory that you were positing, or bring it to the podcast?
Bring it to the podcast.
Yeah.
Just that, like, I don't know, titties were different. Like anytime you watch like a 70s movie, there's like they're big swingers, usually big nipples.
Yep.
Like it's just like not to say that all titties were huge back then. That'd be ridiculous. But they're just built different.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
The ones that were getting on screen.
They had a little bit more of a flourish, kind of like how old sports teams' logos used to have a little bit more jazz in them.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a great jumping off point on like the vibe and the style of this film, because like it feels like a 70s New Hollywood type movie, but it's in the 80s. It's like what I said earlier. It's like one of my favorite genres of 80s movies are ones that feel like leftovers from the 70s.
Yeah.
And so JT's theory, like this movie has him theorizing on 70s titties because everything in this movie, down to the titties, feels like left over from the 70s kind of, which is a very old man late style trying to keep up with the times kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean everything about the movie is dated and antiquated even in its time period. It's made by a geezer director. Peter Falk is not young. Everywhere that they travel to has not been relevant. Even by the time the 80s roll around, like they're driving through like
I don't know. Haven't you ever heard of Just a Kid from Akron?
Yeah,
he made that relevant.
Yeah, somebody, a very important man was born there.
I forgot about Le Cap. But like they drive through these places that are like derelict and already old. He drives like a 60s Buick. He drives like an impossibly old car. It's great, and like he's always using pay phones. I know they didn't have like that was the technology at the time, but like they live a very, very hard scrabble existence, and it's very like intentionally rough around the edges, and the grungier I think the better. It's and that movie's like slimy in like a really authentic way that few movies are.
Yeah, well, it's like the amount of fight scenes and the amount of we see of these fights. You know, it takes up so much of the movie.
It's like the last 20 minutes is the last.
Yeah, the last fight is fucking incredible.
Yeah, and like
so
even throughout, like there's pretty extended footage on like a lot of those fights. And to be honest, I never made me realize I don't think I've ever really watched wrestling before like that much. Ooh. Like, and it was
this brought me back. This brought me back. I used to watch a lot of wrestling as a kid.
Yeah,
and the rope save, when you grab the rope you can't get pinned. I jumped up and I was like, Nate, did you see that? I got really
because it's like no, the ref should be stopping it. The ref should be stopping it.
Yeah,
he's not allowed to get pinned.
But the fights are like so. I didn't do that much research, unfortunately. Yeah. So are these actual wrestlers? These actresses? Does anyone know that?
I don't research.
JT. All right, never mind.
I didn't do the research.
Well, usually I would, but I was kind of busy with
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Bodu saved from drowning.
No, but it's just like the fight scenes are just really well executed to the point where I guess I'm questioning whether are they real
well,
or
the
not.
one toward the end, the big lady, what's her name? Big something?
Yeah.
Big Mama.
Yeah, she seems like a real wrestler.
Yeah.
And they got like Chick Hearn announcing it at the end. That's one of the craziest parts. You got Chick Hearn, who has like a banner up in Staples Center, like a retired microphone. It's not the Crypt. No.
Crypto.com Center.
Yeah.
At Staples Center, you could see.
Where's that?
Like
not a place anymore.
I'm trying to find. I put it in my Google Maps.
It's taking me to Staples.
It's taking me to Victorville.
So where is it?
At the Crypto.com arena. But yeah, like Chick Hearn, the guy who like popularized the phrase "slam dunk" on TV, is in this movie as like the wrestling announcer for the last third.
Really bringing it too.
Yeah, like
really
he's really bringing it, and I kind of love that. Like this is a film that does feel like it's very thrown together plot wise. It's like clearly just like a road movie where the destination is a fight that's going to take up the last 30 minutes, and the sets aren't very well decorated other than the actual like wrestling rings. They feel like real events, you know. But everything feels like kind of thrown together. But you have like these big ingredients, you know. You have your big cards that you could pull, like Peter Falk and the access to this whole world that they use, and Chick Hearn and shit like that. And it's like you can make a really good movie out of just those ingredients. What'd you think about it, Will?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, the last fight, I was talking to Nate. It felt very much like the last fight in Meals on Wheels. Have you guys seen Meals on Wheels?
Yes, of course. And it goes on very long.
Very long. Had
I love
arcs.
that one.
Had arcs. Had like full up and downs. Had like a full story within it. And yeah, I just thought it was like masterfully done, and like the potential for a fight and scene that long to like lose steam and lose you, the audience, especially for wrestling, which is something that, you know, not every American enjoys or watches. The potential to get lost during that is so high, and so the tightrope that you're forced to walk during that is so thin, and to nail it is like such like it's one of the more impressive things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, to just add the little details periodically throughout the fight of like, okay, we really tease with the like introduction, like we actually make it long and annoying, like okay, we actually have the ref like helping this guy out so that he can win a $900 side bet.
Right,
he's
and
like
then
throwing the fight,
and then Peter's like to his girl, he's like, "Get the ref," and then like throughout that takes like 5 minutes to get to
actually.
But
get
then
that,
when
and
you
then
get to
finally
it,
get
you
him.
jump up, up in your seat.
So
yeah.
good.
Well, that's I mean, any sports fan, wrestling fan or not, could appreciate the sacrificing of the ref. The ref gets the ultimate. You know
Yes.
what I mean? You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
They literally beat up the ref, which is
It was a
it's so
good
sick.
way for any sports fan to like, you know, get your anger. You don't like to really project your issues onto the cinema, but that's what it's there for.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, seeing some ref ownage, it's like
I
in
walk into the
Terminator when
apartment,
cops get
Nate
shot.
be pointing a Glock at the TV. When the damn backs are on,
Dude, that we need robo-umps so bad. And even if I have to personally fire every ump myself with a Glock, we will get robo-umps.
Well, you know, I'm thinking about, speaking of shootings in baseball, I'm thinking about going to old Oakland Coliseum.
Oh, nice. Oh, my God. Croakland.
Yeah, Croakland. It's time to finish what they started, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for your Las Vegas
Well,
athletics.
yeah.
Back to the
I don't
movie.
know ownership
Peter
over the
Falk
movie.
is so fucking good in this. I mean, he's an old man. He's like 10 years maybe plus removed from his prime, probably acting wise. But because at that point in his career, like late period Columbo, he's just so in that character that it doesn't matter how much of his ability is going. He's like perfect. So he's just like kind of modulating from there and kind of being himself and kind of just like being a casual kind of leading man, likable guy, scrappy guy. And all of his little affectations are really cool. I like it's very on the nose, but you know, he's a guy who listens to old opera tapes and monologues about Pagliacci. And,
Yeah, I mean, there's just something really just spectacular about watching a banana yellow Buick go up and down the hills and the roads of central Ohio while opera plays. Like I really can't think of a better use for movies ever. I could have watched 4 hours of that.
Yeah.
Like literally just like if you just put on a podcast, put on footage of that and told me that the podcast was the people in the car talking, and we just looked at 1981 Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan through the lens of a yellow Buick. I'm good forever.
Yeah, it is the road movie aspect of it does become like kind of meta travelogue almost of what a lot of people would consider like not a very beautiful part of America, but it's sick.
Well, yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. It's,
And he kind of captures like that very kind of specific sort of like old guy talking and storytelling when he's like, you can tell like he's like kind of talking about his dad and like learning English as second language, and like you can tell he has no idea where he's going as he's talking, but he just knows he's like, I need to distract these women from just kind of looking around and being like, this sucks. I need to keep talking. And like his ability to make
stories, his
yes,
go-to
you can tell he's
tales that he
told it a million
weaves.
times. Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's told it a million times, but he also doesn't know how to tell it. Like
right.
And then so my father he would say don't don't do drugs, and always leave a tip 8%. Be concerned. Don't
8%.
leave them
That's
wanting
not
more.
even. If you imagine like a pie and 8%, I would send that back to the kitchen and I'd say, "Can I have a bigger piece?"
But yeah,
and then you look up and you're in Des Moines. You're like, "Holy fucking shit!"
Well, we.
No, I love the dynamic of like the older kind of scrappy, basically on the way out type manager with like these, semi-desperate, I guess, wrestlers, and it's just kind of an interesting dynamic, just to have Falk in the middle of that, just trying to keep these two girls around, and it's just going from like hotel room to hotel room. That's a pretty good reveal in the middle of the movie when they're like, one of them knocks on Falk's door, and they have a whole conversation, and then at the end there's a woman, comes out of the shower, and I didn't expect that. I didn't know Falk was holding it down like that.
Yeah.
But then it goes on to like kind of embarrass him a little, where the
True.
two girls are listening in on him pretending to know Robert Redford and like his version of spitting game to some random girl at some Passover town at a motel, and like so much of this film does take place at like roach motels and shit. But it just it's that scrappy feeling. I love it. It really just you keep grinding until you get to Vegas, which is like ugly because of how beautiful it is.
Reno, not Vegas.
Oh
Reno.
yeah, that is true. Reno, sorry. Oh boy, which is even more fitting for this film. I guess it's kind of the California split special.
Right.
Go to Reno instead of Vegas. Get the real fiends out there.
And I don't know what to call this, and I hope I say it right in a way in which I don't get in trouble. But when a movie has mirrors of the characters as another race, and they have to interact, love it.
It's pretty funny.
I love when that happens, which means, because what I'm saying is I love people of other races. Is what I am saying.
Which other races?
And if you're all of them equally.
Oh, nice.
And if you're cutting this out of this episode and saving it, you better include this.
So let's say
include this part.
Let's say I have my Mexican American friend Jim. He's the main character of the movie. At some point, he has to interact with Caucasian white Jim. So you like this like alternate version better?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, and if you rewind what I said, you will say that I did not say that.
Well, it's kind of to give equal love to that
equal
white
love.
character.
That's all that we care about on Extended
Equal love,
Clip.
dude.
Equal love, and that's what Peter Falk is showing. Except maybe not, because then he's showing a little more love to one than the other. And by the way, these girls are not wrestlers; they are actresses who were in a lot of movies.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
But,
they must have done some extensive John Wick-esque training.
Tough ass
Yeah.
Well, one of them, and the people who used to subscribe to Fangoria will be like fuming at their podcast. But yeah, Laureen Landon, she was in like The Stuff, Maniac Cop. It's Alive 3. I should have known her for It's Alive 3. But, kind of like cult horror kind of stuff. So
Okay.
I apologize to our very fat fans.
No, I've always said, like to wear like a horror shirt, you gotta be fat to pull that off.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it was. I feel like it was the first episode only because of how like monumental of an ethos of it it's become. Is just like in one of my earliest memories hanging out with you, Malcolm, was you talking about just like going to the New Beverly and seeing fat guys in Cronenberg shirts every time.
They got me.
Yeah, if you go online and you try to buy like a They Live T-shirt, there's nothing under 2X.
Yeah.
They don't sell it.
And I didn't. I mean, Eddie. I didn't notice that Eddie was wearing a Halloween 2 shirt right now. I'm sorry to insult.
One of us.
This is a shirt I bought while I was working with Nate because I ran out of clothes. We were in Douglas, Massachusetts, so I went to the Walmart, the local clothing store, and I gripped this Halloween 2 shirt for $9.
That's awesome.
They had an awesome bargain bin of DVDs there. They had some really good stuff. I think they had.
That was the most fiendish thing I've ever done as a cinephile. Was Nate and I both hadn't watched a movie in like a few weeks at this point, and we were like a week into production on a movie and in the middle of nowhere, and we were at Walmart, and we just went into the DVD bin and just like looked at the names of movies for like way too
And when
long.
I say like there's
Real
probably
life
about
letterbox.
200-300 movies in that bin.
we were posted.
We had eyes. We got eyes on every single one. Like we did an optical assessment of every
Can you
single
imagine
movie
being
they
like a
had.
Walmart, being like, and you just see like two like strange looking boys, being like they're like knights at Rodanthe, and you're like, what are they doing?
Can you imagine being the guy working on that production who had to drive us there and was waiting for us at Walmart?
Yeah. He's in line at the worst Subway in the world, and we're like, dude, they had Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. Not gonna buy it, but they had it.
Wait, which version?
Both.
I mean, as a fan of this podcast, I feel like everyone listening is like, damn, I wish I was there. Legendary
Legendary
like,
sesh.
when Eddie and Nate shut down the Walmart, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Crazy. Just there
It's
for
like
an
listening
hour.
to old comedy podcasts where they talk about like Louis at the cellar.
Dude, we got in the bin and went DVD skunk. It's just the best mode you can go.
Got fingerprints all over that shit.
Ooh, we've been running so long on this that we haven't even talked about the movie. But you know what? It's a fucking great movie. Or we have talked about the movie, but not as much as we usually would. But it's a great movie, and not that much happens in it, really, so there's not much to describe. But it gives you a great feeling, and I think it's a great movie. What about you guys? You guys think it's a great movie or what?
I do. It's one of those movies, again, like the last one, where Will and I were reminded of ourselves. We do that a lot. Just, you know, the life of just a desperation level performer.
Notice it's Nate saying this, not me.
No. You
I'm
agreed.
awesome. I have a good life.
You agreed.
I'm doing great.
Will was like,
you the
man,
wrestlers in this?"
I'm so jealous of these people. They have $125. Yeah, it's a movie about being a desperate, miserable performer.
Nate's like, this sucks. We suck, don't we? Meanwhile, I got 2 phones to my ears.
Business.
A hot babe on both of them.
Yeah,
dude.
you're calling the unemployment office.
No, I'm not.
What's that?
No, I'm not.
You're calling a soup kitchen, making a reservation for one.
No, I'm not. Also, if you're cutting that out to put in a file as well, you must include me saying no, I'm not as well, because I actually wasn't
All
doing that.
the clippers are out this episode. A lot of good clips for for the clip heads.
I thought we were talking about the Clippers.
Yeah, the
Well,
Clippers
they
are
are
out.
out.
Yeah.
Clippers are out. Eat shit if you're
I'm
listening.
I hate the Clippers.
That's also our fans, the Clippers. You know.
Yeah.
Clip.
Speaking of, I want to watch basketball, so let's wrap it up here.
Okay.
Great movie. We do have an email this week, actually.
Ratings?
I wanted to get to
ratings? What the
ratings.
fuck? Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Shout them out. How many bullets out of 5?
JT, give us something.
Final thoughts and ratings, JT.
4.5. It's just a lot of fun hanging out with these characters. I love the crazy moment of the ending where they drop down the California flag.
Ooh.
Made me miss LA, like when just that moment of them just celebrating their well-deserved victory. A lot of fun.
I felt so much pride as a Californian.
I love
in
that they
moment.
throw the
JT,
setup.
LA misses you too.
They love that they throw up the California flag, a state that they do not go to in the movie.
Yeah.
even for a second.
But hey, their team is repping California. It's funny because I actually thought about Bad News Bears because of that. I was like, oh, it's like a California team.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that same vibe of driving around with your teammates. And I'm like, wait, they've just been in fucking like Cleveland like the whole time.
Omaha.
Cleveland's a bad example. That's a big city. But regardless, I think
Not
it's a
as big
great
as this
movie.
one.
4 bullets. Nate and Will.
4.5.
4.5.
This is a 6 shooter. This is a 6 bullet for me.
Real
This
gun
is
heads
the
will
hardest 5.
appreciate that.
I love it so much.
Awesome.
Love 4 bullets.
4 bullets. Email.
We have some.
We do have one. This one came in 5 days ago, and it says, just heard Malcolm's flaming hot take that Fuller is the best action director pre-martial arts. Reminds me of when Cats claim that X band invented punk music.
Cats?
Yeah, like when a cat in your local record store.
A cat? Who the fuck is this loser? Calling me, I ain't your cat.
Bomani Jones did call friend of the podcast Peter Lucas a cat on his podcast the other day. Shout out to Peter, one of the funniest podcast clips of all time.
Peter, if it's any solace to you, you're not racist.
No, you're not racist. You're not one of them, as Bomani called you. The email continues. What about a little filmmaker by the name of Phil Carlson?
Sure, I like him too. You can't. This is the second time someone has taken an antagonistic tone in the emails.
These guys
Directly
come
to
with
me.
receipts to you. They
You know
are.
what? I think our fans kind of like. There's a good segment of our fans that have turned on us.
You're getting aired out, dude.
But they're still listening.
True, but it's
Who's the most hated?
Me. It's got.
Yeah, Eddie.
I'm like the most hated person.
Yeah,
on film Twitter. It's horrible.
that track.
I'm well liked.
They go on to say, just wanted to ask you guys if there's a contemporary filmmaker doing the Fuller/Carlson beat, as I have a thirst for some meat and potato action cinema. Keep going on.
You can't be thirsty for meat and potatoes.
Yeah, dog. Hey, dog, you're hungry.
Dog, you mixing metaphors, my man.
Come on, dog.
Sausage and meatballs. How about that?
Yeah.
Give me the sausage and meatballs.
Let's go.
Oh, I'm supposed to answer the question. I don't know. Fucking Zauer. I don't know. Do you have
Craig
an answer?
Zauer?
Or what did he ask? Who's like Carlson and
Meat
Fuller?
and potatoes action cinema. That's like pre-Disney Jean Colette Serra, right?
I think pretty sure we talked about him earlier, Mr. Guy Ritchie.
Oh, Guy Ritchie. Yeah, that's
Let's see the
Wrath of Man. Check out his American Sniper.
Yeah,
I'm so pumped for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Baby.
It's
the translator. You know?
Yeah, the translator.
What are you, the translator?
I like
Don't
that
annoy
it
me.
does have an official alternate title as Guy Ritchie's The Covenant.
True.
Which is pretty cool. Name above the title, just like me. Eddie's extended clip. This has been another episode of it. Nate and Will. Obviously, the big plug. A closer look. But timing-wise, this will come out in like mid-May. You guys have anything timely to plug for May? Because you guys are both stand-up comedians.
No, nothing will be done by then.
No, nothing will be done
If
by
you could
then.
actually delay the release of this episode until May 2024,
Yeah.
we might have something by then.
They're cooking though. That's a sign for the,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Nate and Will fans. They're cooking right now.
Yeah, we're cooking a bolognese.
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
take about a year.
I made a pretty good bolognese without meat the other day.
Yeah, Eddie's
tofu bolognese.
He's
It
on
was
his
very
vegetarian
good.
stuff. That's cool.
Wow.
If you're a fan of not Nate and Will, but Nate and Eddie,
Oh, yeah.
EFIS will come out sometime. I'm sure.
Yeah. Probably going to be
Next
ready
year?
for festivals in June.
Okay,
Targeting fall festival release, and then 2,500 theaters shortly after that by Christmas.
Awesome.
And if
Love
you're a
to hear
fan
it.
of Will and you don't like Nate, hit me up. Let's hang out.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
You will have to come back to our house where we do everything together.
That's fine.
You are going to have to play chug poker with us, where we do poker and the loser has to chug a beer every hand. So yeah, I'm going to be there and I'll make you chug.
Yeah.
Last time I came over
Yeah,
for poker,
let
you
him in
guys
the
were drinking
podcast.
Kratom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's. Well, I'm trying to be healthy.
Fast or slow?
You're trying to be healthy.
Were you guys on the stuff that makes you go up or down?
The up.
The ups.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, on the
Trying to go
yayo. We're on the yayo, dude.
Yeah,
I think that's why I lost. I was smoking weed. They were drinking crack Kratom, I guess.
Yeah.
Kratom's cheap as hell.
It's so
Kratom's
honestly
sick, dude.
It's really nice.
Kratom's pretty nice. I had a nice Kratom kick like 4 years ago. I need to get back on it.
It's mellow.
We should get
as
one of
hell.
those Kratom sponsors. Maybe like the local vape store that sells
We
Kratom.
could definitely.
There's
Our
a
buddy
local...
works at like a Kratom tea shop. We'll hook it up.
Oh,
Let's
nice,
do it.
dude. Hell yeah.
Actually, we did get a promotion. If you're in the
That one
if you're
in
the
Atwater?
north, yeah, if you're in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
northeast
yeah.
LA
Oh,
area,
yeah, dude. That's this podcast's region. This podcast has been recorded in Glendale and Highland Park. We are all about the northeast LA.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So if you're in Atwater Village and you go to that Kratom
That's the Rust
place,
Belt of Los
It
Angeles.
is,
of
yeah,
Los
yeah,
Angeles.
yeah.
Go to that Kratom
Well,
place.
you drive a yellow Buick up and down Glassell Park, up and down San Fernando Boulevard.
Play this podcast out loud at the Kratom place while you're getting fucked up at your own table.
Also, a lot of smoke shops. They just have it too. If there's one near you.
People are getting real flagrant with the listening to podcasts out loud thing.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Like you went on the bus and like someone was listening to one.
I was taking a little vacation, a little road trip with my sweetie, if you will.
Okay.
And we stopped in Portland, Oregon, and I see at the outdoor cafe this homeless gentleman who's rolling a joint, listening to I think Tim Dillon.
Oh my god.
Can I be honest? I don't have headphones that like plug into my iPhone. So last night I did blast a NASCAR podcast in the grocery store.
Did you really? God damn, you are fucking, dude. You are fucking pawn scum, dude.
So you, damn, I don't
You
think I could.
fucking.
I have been watching you slowly lose all sense of like social decency. You're walking around the street in the robe. You're fucking blasting podcasts out loud.
Not blasting. It was only a volume that only I could hear.
Yeah,
walking
right.
around to my ear.
Like it was a light speakerphone call.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
I was taking a meeting.
You're walking around
dude.
like that Antifa homeless guy. You know?
Yeah.
Mortifying.
Goodbye.
I'm going over there now to get a signature on our contract, and then the...
Nevertheless, the situation made me take stock of myself. Evaluate my assets and liabilities.
Honey, I love your assets and liabilities.
Please, Rock, let me finish.